Okay, so in this video, step by step, I'm going to run you through how I made my first 5K online at 19 years old. Now, I'm not 19 anymore, I'm now 22, and I've made a lot more money than that. And I'm going to explain in clear detail how I did it, how you can too, while I play COD Zombies, if you don't mind. Currently in Montenegro, just wanted to just take some time to record this for you. So how did I make my first, let's turn the volume down. How did I make my first 5K online at 19? Now, I already know you've been told to start a marketing agency. You've been told to just, invest, bro, invest, put money in crypto, S&P 500. I'm going to break something to you right now. Crypto and stocks aren't your concern right now. Do you know why? Because you have no money, and that's fine, but you don't invest when you have no cash. You invest when you have cash, right? The S&P 500, not being funny, 10% a year is great, but 10% a year is great when you already have like hundreds of thousands in there, but you don't really have that right now, because if you did, you wouldn't be watching this video. So crypto and stocks and investing and trying to get into real estate, bro, like everyone tells you to do, isn't really a feasible model, because number one, it's too advanced for beginners. It's too complex. It requires too much capital. It's too much risk, and it's just not feasible at all. Okay, so I've tried every single model under the sun. I've tried dropshipping. I've tried Amazon FBA. I've tried all of this stuff. The bad thing is with these is you see people online saying, "Oh, I made 100K a month with dropshipping." When fun fact, right? Yeah, they did make 100K, but they forget about what profit margins are, and something like dropshipping doesn't really have that high profit margins, right? So you're now again risking a lot for not much profit margins. There's people that say they make 50K a month of dropshipping, they take home 6. And then if they got like issues with, for example, packaging and distributing their products and all of this stuff and all these complexities. But you're a beginner. You don't have any skills. You don't have any knowledge. You don't know where to start. You are completely lost. You have no idea you just don't know a thing about a thing, because you're 19 years old or you're in your early 20s and you're just totally clueless. You've come out of school, you come out of college and you've got no skills, and that's fine. So what did I do? Well, mate, so after years of failing and spending thousands on trying these models, and by the way, when I tell you these things don't work and I say they've got low profit margins and they're not very feasible for beginners and it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of skill and it's not as lucrative as it sounds, I'm saying that from my personal experience, not just because, I don't like the model or for any kind of specific reason other than that, right? It's from previous experience, also people that I was speaking to, right? But yeah, so I made my first 5K by, honestly, and this sounds so cliche, dropping the ego. Okay, these zombies are getting wrecked, by the way. Just wait till I get the wonder weapon. I can't remember what it's called on D Machina. It's like this sucky, shooty, that sounded a bit weird. It's this thing where you can just suck the soul out of them. That sounded weird again. But yeah, anyway, so I dropped my ego, which sounds really cliche, but I saw people online doing 10K a month, doing 100K a month, millionaires, and I was like, I want to be a millionaire, and I still do, and I'm not one yet, right? But I will be one day. But anyway, I had that goal, and I basically turned my nose up at anything that wasn't like 10K a month. I was like, I want to make this much money, blah, 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 blah. And I thought that I had the leverage to be commanding a structure like that and a life like that when I had no skills to prove or any kind of value to give to the world. So what I did was I dropped the ego, realized that actually I didn't want to make 10K a month. I didn't want to become a millionaire. What I actually wanted was to make my first couple of £100 online. I remember sitting down myself in the gym mid-set of doing incline bench, right, on my, at the time, very light dumbbells. I remember being mid-set in the gym doing an incline bench, thinking, do you know what? I am so broke that if I had an extra £200 to £300 a month coming in, I would be balling out of my mind. As in, I'd be absolutely balling out of control. That would be amazing. So I thought, how about let's just think about how I can make my first couple of £100, right? So literally dropped all ego of trying to replace my job wage, become this millionaire, come to Dubai or whatever, or be in, for example, Montenegro in a penthouse right now playing COD Zombies, which I won't lie, is pretty fun. Oh, that's not fun. I'm about to die. Come on, no, come on. Right, that's not fun. This is quite fun though. So I'm in this Montenegro penthouse, right? And I'm just playing COD Zombies and talking to the camera about how I made my first couple $100 online. So yeah, I dropped my ego, realized I needed to learn skills, and it was going to take some time. So I thought, what's the highest value skill I can learn that doesn't really cost me much money to start, right? Or cost me little money and has like infinite upside and minimal downside. Got an itchy nose. And I just kind of scoured the internet, and I realized okay, the skill of sales. Sales sounds good. Okay, cool. So basically this is actually off the back of me trying to start a marketing agency as well. I knew sales was involved with that. But when somebody broke down a video saying like marketing agency is good, right, but you're actually like using so many skills at once rather than just like sales, for example. So basically, I kind of had that in my mind, and by sheer luck, right? Now, actually, I don't know if I'd say it's luck. I'd say it's kind of cause and effect, because I was in the right environment at the right time. I was already actively looking for opportunities and trying to expand my network and stuff. But I joined this guy's Facebook group that sold like a course on how to start a marketing agency, and basically, I joined it on Facebook because I wanted to ask him a specific question around like sales and stuff. And basically, when I joined it, I got pitched like a cold, like a it wasn't really cold because I joined the Facebook group, but I got pitched when I joined the Facebook group, and he was like, you know, hi mate, just saw you join the group. Really quick question, Aidan, just out of curiosity, like I saw you looking to grow your marketing agency. Would you be open to a few more ideas of getting more marketing agency clients? Got a few ideas I'd like to run by you. Shoot me a thumbs up if that's cool. And I remember thinking that's a really unique way of reaching out. Like it was really like, you know, it was so nonchalant and like, oh, whatever, just send me a thumbs up. And that script has now been rinsed millions of times, primarily by me. 90% of the saturation of that script has been by me. So guys, you can try that out. It does still work, but it doesn't work anywhere near as well as it used to because I've just rinsed it. And that's how I made a lot of my money. But anyway, so he did that. And I remember thinking like, this guy's actually, like, that was actually pretty clever. And I kind of just ignored it at first. I thought, oh, another guy trying to pitch me something. But he said something like, I want to share an opportunity with you, if you don't mind. I don't know why. I was on my shift at the co-op, right? I was on my shift, doing my graveyard shift, mate, at like in the evening, and I saw it come through, and I ignored it after thinking, you know, that's pretty clever. And then I thought, I don't know, I'm just gonna have some fun with this guy. And I remember saying back, I want my Tomahawks. I remember saying back, I was like, unless that opportunity is for me to come and live in Dubai with you in this person's name, then I'm gonna have to decline. And he just found it funny, like that kind of sense of humor. It just made him laugh. So then we kind of got talking off the back of that. He was still trying to indirectly pitch me the service. Eventually he gave up, right? Eventually he gave up, and then we just got chatting. He was like, "Oh mate, what are you doing for work at the moment?" Out of curiosity, mate. And I was like, "Oh, I'm at the co-op." I know it's not that impressive, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. And he was like, "Yeah, the reason I ask is I'm actually looking for an appointment setter. Like we have a setter role open here," and he just kind of liked the way I spoke and liked what I was about. And he was like, look, mate, would you be open to trying it out? I know you're trying to make money online, because we'd had the previous conversation about, you know, that specific topic. And he was like, look, I need a setter. Our average setters are doing like 2 to 4K a month. Would you be open to it? And I remembered going back to thinking like, right, yeah, I said to drop my ego that I wanted to make just a few £100. I was like, this guy's saying I can make 2 to 4K a month. Let's like undershoot it even more. And let's just say I make £300 a month extra. That would have changed my life. I was that broke. So I was like, yeah, why not, mate? Yeah, that'd be great. Didn't really think much of it. Like a week later, me and him were on a call, and he onboards me and basically gets me started doing appointment setting, like doing pure cold outreach through like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. I remember Twitter was my biggest converter, by the way. It's not really anymore because you go straight to the spam folder if you're not careful. But like back then, I used to print, which I'll get into in a second. But basically, yeah, like he got me on board. The structure was 30 per appointment. And like, mate, honestly, if I made an extra £30 a day, oh, that's not good. Low power mode. Please be recording. Yeah, okay, that's not good. I was like 30 per appointment is quite low, but if I was making an extra 30 quid a day, that again would have really like moved the needle forward for me. It would have like really given me so many opportunities. So I remember being like, okay, cool. Got me on board. The first day, honestly, I was just following their script. There wasn't any kind of skill or anything. He was like, right, do this, say that, say this. When someone asked this, you say that, whatever. I literally just copied it word for word, right? Exactly how he said. I think I booked 2 appointments in my first day on this role. So that was $60 in the bank straight away just by being onboarded, right? And that's when I kind of like came to the conclusion of, oh, wow, if I book like 5 appointments a day, I can be making 150 a day. And I did eventually get to that point. I just kind of rinsed it. I was like, look, I'm gonna spend every week an hour in this, you know, in the DMs trying to set calls. And it was funny because we had like a team of setters at the time, right? We had a team of setters, and there was like a leaderboard, and it was like there was this guy that had been with the team for like 6 months. And I think I so I joined halfway through the month. So I basically caught up with him in the first half of the month that I was there. And then the full next month, which was like November, right? All of November, I just completely smashed him. Just completely annihilated him. And by the way, I'm not going to say that guy's name. He's a good friend of mine. But if you're watching this, mate, I do apologize. Just too good. I'm joking, right? So I kind of beat him. And like the record for appointments booked that like before that was 70 or 73, something like that, around that range. I booked 84 in my first full month. And in that half month that I think I did like 28 or 29. I just smashed it. Like I've always been quite convincing. Naturally with sales, I'm quite good at objection handling. That's kind of my strong point. I can be quite convincing. So like even before I started sales, like, you know, I have the persuasion skills so good that I managed to persuade my mum to let me play GTA 5 when I was 8 years old. Not even joking. That was a hard sell, by the way. It took me about a good year and a half to figure that out. I remember it was from like 7 until like 8.5. She finally let me play it. And the reason why was because my dad was letting me play COD, which was like, well, basically this. So I was like, Mum, Dad lets me play Call of Duty. Call of Duty is the exact same thing. And I was going, Mum, I swear, I promise I won't go in the strip clubs. I promise I won't go to the prostitutes. I was like, I promise I'll just do it to shoot people and kill bad guys and drug dealers. And I'll do it. Right, anyway, so I've always been quite persuasive. So that's why I think I did quite well. But then on top of that, the training from this company that is elite, by the way, they do like 8 figures a year, multi 8 figures now. Back then it was like low. It was like, I think it was, like low 8 figures. Now they're doing like multi 8 figures. So I just smashed it out of the park. And then I was at obviously this retail job at the time. And I was making like, in my first 2 weeks that I did that, I think it was like £800 I'd made. Like, I think it was like 792 or something like that. I remember it being really specific. I remember screenshotting it. I might put it on screen of exactly how much it was. And it blew my fucking mind because I was, as I said, dead broke. I was making about £1,000 a month at the co-op. And then on top of that, I basically had matched what I'd made at the co-op. And I'd probably worked twice as hard at the co-op and made roughly the same as I'd made with setting, where setting I was working half of the time, right? I've just butchered me explaining that, right? Let's go and try and build this wonder weapon now. Just get this train of zombies out. There we go, boom, okay. So I've completely lost my train of thought. Bear with me 2 seconds, guys. What was I saying? I was saying about how, £791. I remember being blown away by it. And then basically the full next month, I literally just went ham and I actually booked 2 weeks off work because I wanted to see what it was going to be like. And actually, funnily enough, I'd broken up with my girlfriend nearer the time as well. And that 2 weeks that I had booked off actually was for us to go. We're going to go to this like resort, spa, hotel weekend, whatever, and just do some cool stuff for the 2 weeks. And then we broke up. So I used those 2 weeks in addition to, like, I just thought, you know, let's see how far I can take things. I used those 2 weeks to just work as hard as I could do in the setting and see how far I could take it. And then that's when, like, basically in all of November, 2 weeks of it, I just did straight setting, right? I made, I think it was £2,000. Yeah, it was like 2.3K, like 2.1, it was around 2.1 to 2.3. I can't remember exactly how much it was. Like, I can get the screenshots on screen for you if I remember after this video. Come on, Juggernaut, don't die on me now. Have I run out of ammo? No, I haven't. Why am I using this gun? I've got ammo. Why am I not shooting? Oh shit, nuke, nuke, nuke. Oh, okay. Do the anomaly thing, right? So I'd made like 2.2, 2.3 roughly on top of my £1,000 a month wage at the co-op, right? And I remember I'd made 3.3K that entire month combined. I tell you what, guys, I felt like the dog's bollocks. I was like, yep, millionaire. I'm an absolute top G millionaire. Like, I honestly thought I was the bee's knees. And I remember my my granddad asking me how this little, you know, side hustle was going. He asked me how much I made, how much I've been making from it. And I was like, I'll tell you if you want. I don't want to sit here and be that guy to say how much I make, because I think it's tacky, right, to do that at family stuff or in general, really, unless it's educational like I'm doing right now. And I was like, yeah, I made £3,000. Yeah, 3K. Thought I was the bee's knees. And he was blown away by it, and I was blown away by it, because to the average person, To most people, 3K, especially at 19 years old, is pretty good, especially from your phone. So yeah, and then I just realized how far I could take things. And then the guy that was working with me, the guy that got me the opportunity, he basically said, look, mate, I'll be honest with you, you are a killer. We need you in this full time. Quit your job and go full time with us. And that was music to my ears. So that's exactly what I did. Handed in my notice, had to do 1 month notice. By the end of 2023, December 30th, 2023 is when I quit. By the way, I remember it to a T when it was, because I wanted to deliberately leave the fact that I worked for the co-op in the past behind, right? In 2023, I wanted to just leave it at that. I just wanted to completely start the year fresh. So I quit on the 1st of December. Last shift was the 30th. Where's the box? You have to look up and look at the light in the sky, don't you? Yeah, there we go. That's my last shift on the 30th. And then I went full time. And from January until, so right in the new year, January, February, March, it was like, I think it's April or May. It took me about 4 or 5 months to make my first £5,000 online. But by that point, obviously, like, you know, I made like £800 in those 2 weeks that I did the setting for. Then I did like 2.1 or 2. It was around 2.1 to 2.3. Let's just say 2.2, meet in the middle, right? So yeah, what was that? Like 2.2 plus 800, that's 3K by that point, right? And then from January and February, it was roughly like 2.5 each. That's another 5K. Like I basically made 8K by that point. And then I just got to the point in May where we just had loads of fucking lead flow. I was booking like a madman. They increased my commissions to 40 per appointment. And I was booking like 180 to 200 appointments a month. And that was like £5,000, like 5 and a bit K per month. And I was absolutely living. So, and then I went all in with that. I realized I was actually quite good at this. I just expanded it even further to start to take on more clients. For example, like the clients I've worked with have been Charlie Morgan and William Brown. And, you know, I've worked with like Jamie Costello, First Man. I've worked with a few other guys as well that you may not know the names of, but they've got like guys that aren't as big, but their businesses are quite like, you know, dialed in. So you can make a lot of money with them, but people always think like, you know, to make a lot of money on these offers, they have to be like big names. They really don't. They just have to have good business processes. So I've worked with quite a few like that as well. I've done roughly $2 million in cash collected by this point. 4 clients, right? I'm training the zombies so well, by the way. I should make a tutorial video. Right, where's the box? I want to get a better gun. I want to get how do I build the thing? I've forgotten how to do it. No, you need to kill that big guy, don't you, to get the key. Yeah, I just took on more clients, realized I got really good. Just kind of built it from the back of that. And then I had people asking me how to get started. They were like, oh mate, how did you do this? How did you start? Can you help me start? Decided to help, thinking nothing of it. I was like, yeah, sure, let's, no. Why am I using this, by the way? I'm distracted, you're distracting me. Why the hell am I using these for zombies? Give me the gun, give me the gun. Oh, if you kill me, I swear down. Do not. Right, anyway, so people asked me how I did it. I offered free help. I managed to get I've just picked up the same gun, same thing. Managed to get really good results for clients. Then they were like, mate, you should charge for this, because I didn't charge them and they got like good results. And I thought, fuck it, okay. Started a YouTube channel and started charging for my services of helping people start appointment setting and get really good at it. And yeah, now we're here. I've been doing this for nearly a year now. I've helped several people like yourself working either dead-end jobs or 9-to-5s, or they're just not in the position they want to be, make their first couple of grand a month online, travel and, you know, do these big things and go on to do much bigger things as well. As a result, I can't speak. I helped a guy called Josh. His testimony was on my page. I helped him hit 3K in 60 days working with me. I've got a guy called Ivan that I helped hit 3K. And again, roughly, I think it's a bit less than 60 days. He was working at a retail job as well. And he quit that job and he's now going full time, and he made 3,400 goddamn pounds last month. And he's 17 bloody years old, right? So this is my thing now. I still have setting clients I work with because I like to practice the skill still, so I can be even better for the clients that I work with and teach to how to do appointment setting. But yeah, this is what I do on basically like a full-time thing. Like, I'm very good at what I do. I've made well over 6 figures in commissions, right? I've done over 2 million. There we go. You kill this guy and you get a key, and then you can get the wonder weapon. I've done, you know, over $2 million in cash collected. I've had high value clients like Charlie Morgan and William Brown. I'm friends with like 14 or 15 multi-millionaires. Batman's installed. Let's go. We're going to play that next. Batman Arkham City, by the way. If you ever played Batman Arkham City, what a game. That is my childhood. I used to, honestly, most Sundays I used to spend, like, because I was such a loser, I used to spend my Sundays when I was younger, right? Instead of going around kicking a football, I used to just go and complete Batman Arkham City for fun. I'm not even joking. It used to take me like 6 hours to do it, to complete the game from front to finish. I remember it like back of my hand, and not gonna try and complete it tonight, but you get the point. Oh, I'm nearly dead. But yeah, like, I'm very good at this, guys. This is my life now, right? I'm in Montenegro on a random, it's Sunday today. I booked a one-way ticket. I don't have to go anytime soon. I can be here for as long as I want to. I'm making money for my phone. I still do appointment setting to this day. Appointment setting changed my life, and friends are multi-million. My life's fantastic. I can't even put it into words how great my life is. And I'm so damn grateful for everything that I have. And I've worked so hard. And I started as a complete beginner with no experience, no nothing, failed businesses, right? I've spent thousands of pounds on trying these models that didn't work. I owed my mum $3.5 grand. I was $3.5 grand in debt. I owed her $3.5 grand, right? I know what it's like to have no money. I went to go and pay for my MOT in October 2023. After that, and my insurance, because at the same time, I had £19.32 in my bank account, and I had nothing. I was working at the car. I had no skills, no nothing. I was fat, I was spotty, I was a loser. And now, like, this is my life. I'm in a random penthouse. This isn't an Airbnb. This is a penthouse on Airbnb, granted, right? But I wouldn't call it an Airbnb. This is honestly, this is insane. I brought my PS5 with me. I'm in this beautiful country. I don't have to answer to anybody at all. I make really good money from my phone. I have total freedom. So if you want the same thing and you want to start a model that actually teaches you real world skills as well, with the skill of sales, because that is endless. If you want to learn that the right way, even as an introvert just starting out, because that was me. I was a crippling introvert. If you want to learn that the right way, make some money immediately, right? Basically replace your job wage in the first couple of months of trying it. Minimal downside, right? Infinite upside. There's gonna be a link down below in the description to book a call with me one-to-one. I'll show you how I can help you get started, because that's what I do now. I do setting, and I also coach people, and you can see the results on my page. I'm pretty damn good at it, okay? So if you want to see how to get started yourself and learn from somebody who's actually still in the game, still practicing what they preach, book in that call down below, and I'll run you through exactly how I can help you do it.